Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Write Your First Novel Now podcast. David Allen Hamilton here with you. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about mindset. Okay, now this is getting into some of the softer psychology work that we need to do in order to persevere and get our novels written and then eventually launched into the world. And what I spend a fair bit of time on in the Write Your First Novel Now program is actually looking at mindset. So today we're going to talk about a fixed versus a growth mindset. So what's the difference between the two? Well, someone with a growth mindset views things like intelligence, abilities, and talents as learnable and capable of improvement through effort. Someone with a fixed mindset views those same traits as inherently stable and unchangeable over time. Essentially, it's like this. If you have a fixed mindset, you believe that you've got what you got and that's it, that's all. If you believe that you have a growth mindset, that belief takes you to a place where you can always improve, where you're always looking for ways to do better, to learn more, to practice more, and so on and so forth. Now, these ideas have been expressed really well in Carol Dweck's book called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, and it sold a gazillion copies. So you're probably familiar with that, or at least you've heard of that, the differences between a growth and a fixed mindset. So what does that mean for us? Well, what it means for us is that I think most of us fall somewhere along that spectrum between fixed and growth. So there will be times where, perhaps negative self-talk comes in and you think, oh, I'll never learn this, I'll never get this, I'll never do this. That's fixed mindset. That's the stuff that says you've got what you got and you're not getting any more. On the other hand, at the other end of the spectrum where the growth mindset is, it's like, okay, bring it on. I can learn new stuff. I can get better. All of that more positive language that we tend to use. So most of us fall somewhere in between there. But what I'd like to do today is actually to talk about 5 ways to help you develop or improve your growth mindset. So we're going to look at 5 ways of doing that. The first one, don't rush to, I can't do it. Okay, so you know what that sounds like, right? I can't do it. I can't get it. I can't do it. So don't rush to that. Take your time. Think a little bit about what you're doing. Now, let's take an example. Perhaps you're learning a new skill. Maybe writing is the new skill that you're learning. And as you know, there's so much to learn in the craft of writing that it's impossible to learn it all right away. But suppose you're working on something, maybe it's something like grammar or sentence structure or whatever, and you just say, oh, I just can't get that. I can't get it. Where that leads you to, the next thing that you say is, I'm done, I'm out, I quit. So we don't want to go there, right? So don't be too quick to rush to that, oh, I just can't do it thing. So by allowing yourself a little bit more room before you jump to the I can't, I won't, I quit, this gives us an opportunity to sit back and reflect and gather our thoughts and recognize the fixed mindset beliefs creeping in, right? So we want to avoid those things. Now, we've been conditioned to believe that if we can't do something right away, we're no good. We just don't have the talent, we don't have the ability, we don't have the skill, whatever it might be. And this can show up in something, oh, I just can't write a novel, I just can't do it. And that's a fixed belief, okay? You've been conditioned to believe that if you can't get something right away, then you won't, and you're no good, and you're a bad person, and the shame spiral begins, and off we go. So that's one thing we need to overcome. So don't rush to the I can't do it phase. Give yourself a little bit more time to think it through and recognize that fixed belief that's creeping into your mind. So that's the first one. Don't rush to I can't. The second one is the power of yet. So the power of yet, what does that look like? So let's take some examples here of various fixed mindset beliefs. Here's one. I haven't finished my novel. I'm not a very good writer. Nobody's buying my book. I can't think of a story to write. These are all like limiting, right? I haven't finished my novel. So whenever anyone asks, hey, how's the novel? I haven't finished my novel, right? And off we go, and fixed mindset and negativity and shame spiraling and all kinds of good things. So those are limitations that we put on ourselves. That suggests a fixed mindset. But if we add the one word yet, that little 3-letter word at the end of those sentences, this leads us to the art of the possible. So let's have another look at those 4 sentences again. I haven't finished my novel yet. I'm not a very good writer yet. Nobody's buying my book yet. I can't think of a story to write yet. So what this does is it leaves the possibilities open. It means that we can learn more, we can try more, we can talk to other people and learn from them. Like it develops the growth mindset. It tells us our beliefs are not limited, they're not fixed, that we have some control over what happens. And that's the art of the possible. So that's a very powerful little word, the power of yet. So if you find yourself saying those things that are based on limited beliefs, I can't get this, just add yet to it. I can't get this yet. And see where that takes you. The third thing now is to ask yourself, well, what would I do differently next time? And this is a question that you can use whenever you're doing anything. Like, it doesn't have to be associated with a failure. It can be associated with something that's been very successful. Ask yourself, what would I do differently next time? The answer might be nothing. If everything worked out perfectly, then that's great. But ask yourself the question, because again, it opens up your mind to doing some diagnostics, to doing some learning, get curious about what's worked well and what hasn't, and how to make adjustments as you go. So this is really, really important, right? Like it's easy to give up and fall into that default mindset of, I can't do it. But if you look at your work and ask, well, what would I do differently next time? You really do open up new possibilities. So a lot of the growth mindset work is actually stepping back from wherever we are, like whatever we're in at the moment. Step back and asking ourselves some questions, right? What would I do differently next time? So that's the third thing to develop a growth mindset. The fourth thing is to fail better by asking for feedback. I'm not saying like deliberately go out and fail more. No. This isn't about failing. It's not about winning. But when something doesn't work, ask for feedback. So you'll notice in the Write Your First Novel Now program, we do a lot of this. We do a lot of validation. We do a lot of testing. We do a lot of feedback, ongoing, all the time. Get the feedback, make an adjustment, and then try it again. So there's a loop here, right? There's a process here that works really, really well. Failing better means asking for feedback, getting validation, understanding what happened better. This is the heart of the Write Your First Novel Now system. And it's counterintuitive in the sense that, wait a second, I'm supposed to be writing a novel, aren't I? Like, I'm just going to write my novel and off it goes and it is what it is. No. No, writing a novel is an exercise in constantly asking for feedback and getting that validation from readers, from experienced writers, from others, so that you can constantly get better at what you're doing. The reason why I focus so much on getting feedback and validating the work we're doing is because it works. At the end of the day, the novel you write is infinitely better than one that you would have written all by yourself and on your own. So fail better by asking for feedback. And then the last thing is try new things. So this is about getting curious about the world. Try new things. You don't want to get locked into that, well, I am what I am. I do what I do. I'm not interested in this. I'm not interested in that. It doesn't matter. Go out and try something new, because this will allow you to put into practice all those other things that we've talked about not rushing to the I can't and the power of, well, I'm not very good at this yet. And what would I do differently next time if it doesn't work out all that well? And ask for feedback. Trying new things is a really powerful way of developing your mindset. So trying new things despite being fearful or uncertain will help you build your growth mindset. And the key here is not to focus on the outcome. Not to focus on the outcome. In other words, divorce yourself from the outcome. So instead, what you can do is to focus on what you can learn and to enjoy the experience as you're going through it. So it's not like, okay, well, here's the task at hand. The task is to write a really good novel. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, okay, I have to write a really good novel. And then we start stressing about, what if it's not? Right? What if it's not? And then all of the fears come in and you never get it done. So instead of focusing on the outcome, I have to write a really good novel, focus on the process. Focus on enjoying the writing of a story and the learning of a new craft and developing those new skills. That's what you can focus on, and that leads a lot into building a growth mindset. So those are the 5 things. First one, don't rush to I can't. Second, the power of yet. Put that into your language. Third, ask yourself, what would I do differently next time? Fourth, fail better by asking for feedback. And the 5th one, try new things. Get curious about the world and go try them. All right, so I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some exercises, some practical ways that you can develop your growth mindset, because you're going to need this as you go through the novel writing process. All right, we'll see you next time. And of course, if you'd like any help with your work, please drop me an email, David@writeyourfirstnovelnow.com. I look forward to hearing from you.